Right. Hey, this is Karila. We're with MetalLife.com and we're here at the House of Blues in Los Angeles with a very anticipated tour. We're here with 1349. Welcome, Sideman.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
And traffic probably wasn't treating you too well in LA, huh?
No, but this is LA. Everybody wants to go to LA to see metal live stores.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine going anywhere in Europe with like nice forest areas. I can't imagine you're too used to like this kind of traffic, this kind of hustle, huh?
No, nothing like this, of course, except for when we travel. We got stuck in rush hour in Mexico City once, and that was insane. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm from a small place where if you have to sit in your car for 30 seconds, they're like, oh, it's rush hour today.
Oh, so,
yeah. I mean, we're spoiled.
Obviously, never been to LA before.
No, exactly.
So, I don't have to tell you, this is a very anticipated tour. What do you guys expect with a basically full black metal lineup? I mean, you guys are kind of infamous for playing with a lot of death metal bands recently. But how do you feel kind of being on a lineup where you're all pretty like-minded?
Well, this lineup is very, very nice, of course. I mean, it's a big bill with lots of diverse but still very extreme and blackened acts. Of course, it's great to be on tour with Behemoth and Rotor, our old friends.
Yeah.
It's great to have them on a position, Black Brown Initiative. It's going to be good. It's going to be brutal and it's going to be black.
Absolutely.
Metal.
We're so excited for this tour for sure.
So are we.
Yeah, and you guys are still kind of basking in the success of Demon Noir right now. And one thing that I love is some of the limited box sets have really cool covers. So you guys did amazing covers of Morbid Angel and Exodus and things like that. But you've also done covers of non-metal bands in the past, like Pink Floyd.
And we also did a Bauhaus cover for
the Bauhaus cover, that's right. Do non-metal bands continue to influence you when you're playing today? Are they going to influence you when you're out coming up as well?
The thing is that what influences you translates in your mind into what you output creatively. If I would sit at home and only listen to Transylvanian Hunger era Dark Throne, then what comes out of me would be Transylvanian Hunger era Dark Throne. In other words, it would be pointless, since I'm not in Dark Throne and this is not Transylvanian Hunger. So we have lots of non-metal influences and non-metal things. I mean, to be bluntly honest, I don't really listen to metal much these days anymore. Imagine this, you are me playing in 1349. When you get home from rehearsals after 3-4 hours of blast beats, do you really want to hear another blast beat, or do you maybe want to put on some nice classical music and just relax?
That's true.
But yeah, everyone in the band has very wide and different musical tastes.
Okay.
And both when it comes to metal and non-metal and whatever. A lot of us also just enjoys the silence. I mean, after all, we're woodland creatures.
Right.
You can quote me on that, woodland creatures.
Woodland creatures.
That sounds weird. But okay, the thing is, forests. When you're in the forest, there's of course noise, but it's not the background noise that your phone and camera is picking up here.
Yeah.
That silence speaks, at least to me, in a very soothing way, and it gives me a lot of energy and it gives me inspiration to go out there and then do black metal. Because in some music, especially music, and now I'm not talking about folk music and black metal, when it's really good, you can see and hear the landscape. In, for instance, Tuvan Troll singing, you can hear the differences in the way it's sung. You can hear the step, the mountain, and in Norwegian black metal, in good Norwegian black metal, you hear the forests, and you hear it in the riffs. Whenever I put on Emperor, like, okay, there's the forests, there's the mountains, yeah, this works for me.
Wow.
And then I put on Honor 2 and I hear the throat singing, like, yeah, okay, I can hear the mountains, I can hear the steps, and it works.
Wow.
And that's what I want to get out from music as well. You gotta feel it. When it's real, you feel the landscape, you hear the landscape, you feel where people are from. And
What about when you try to cover someone like Exodus though? That's really interesting because I can see like how you kind of come up with that when you're making your own material because you surround yourself in that. But when you're covering Exodus, yes, you want to make it your own. At the same time, there's kind of elements of Exodus you want to emulate. Like they grew up in the city, in the Bay Area, and there's... So how do you kind of strike a balance between...
Well, we have to immerse ourselves in Exodus, of course. I mean, it would be listening to Exodus, watching the Exodus videos, whatever you can find on YouTube, that stuff. And okay, this is Exodus. What do they want to dig into Exodus? Now, okay, this is what they're doing. And then, when you're familiar with the stuff, then it's time to break it down and make it your own.
Yeah.
And make a 3049 version of Exodus. And make it ours. Because if you can't make a song your own, then you have no business covering it.
Right.
The cover has to be a bit different. It has to be your own. Otherwise, it's worthless.
There's an interview where you state that 1349's goal is to, like you said, you want to reflect the beauty of the 90s era black metal, things that like Burzum and Mayhem did and things like that, but also you want to take it in your own direction. And like you said, you want to interpret it as your own. Where do you see black metal going in 2014?
Well,
for 1349.
For 1349, we have a single coming sometime during this tour, I hope. And there will be an album in the autumn. It's recorded and it's 1349 doing what 1349 does best. Well, for 1349, we always try to be, if you're gonna make an album, it has to be better than the previous one, right?
Right.
Otherwise, stop.
Right.
It's gotta be a bit black and white here because there's so many things out there that are halfway mediocre. Mediocrity is big in the world right now, and that's sad. Because we don't need mediocrity. We rather have few very good acts than a lot of mediocre acts.
Right.
So for 1349, it's about making something that's better than what we have done.
Okay. There is a trend in black metal that's been going on for a little while of putting in symphonic elements. You know, you got stuff like Demon Cradle and Carrick Angren, who really kind of take the symphonic elements. Is that something you could ever see 1349 doing?
You didn't.
Exactly. And personally, I don't think so, but I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
That probably works for them, but for us, I don't see that. I don't see how that would make any of our songs better. Because when you're adding elements to a song, you have to think, will this make the song better? Will this, what will this give to the song? What will this make the song convey? I mean, for 1349 and the kind of icy, black and darkness we try to achieve, then I mean, we have used synths on the Hellfire song, back on the Hellfire album. There was a synth kind of intro, but no, I mean, we don't have a keyboard player. I mean, several of us in the band know how to play piano,
but it's not something you really saturated.
No, it's not something that has ever occurred to us as this is what our music needs. I mean, we can create what we want with bass guitars, drums and vocals. It's not really been something I paid much attention to. If I want grand symphonic stuff, then I listen to classical music.
Some classical, yeah.
I'm very kind of, I like to keep things separate, right? So if I want to big and grand and symphonic, go Mozart.
Okay.
And then, if I want black metal, then I listen to something different.
Yeah, that makes sense. You just want your genres.
I'm not too genre bound in that. People are dividing the world into small trivial pieces. This is not necessarily a good thing. But for me, I mean, I like my metal like this, and I like my classical like this.
Okay.
I'm old enough to be set in my ways, and I'm okay.
And then my last question for you is, I know you very recently, I want to say yesterday, you guys released the 7-inch for your single Slave. The vinyl, is that something you guys wanted to follow? Because, I mean, 1349 definitely goes with the more kind of classic 90s black metal. Is that just kind of a thing where you don't, I guess you don't sink in so much to the online and MP3 world? You kind of are promoting like a hard, tangible, something classic.
Yeah, we want physical evidence that we've done stuff. And the thing is also, we always released all our stuff on vinyl, even back to the first albums when our the label was like, no, we're not gonna release vinyl, nobody listens to vinyl. We don't fucking care. We listen to vinyls. I have a big vinyl collection. I love vinyl. I want my albums out on vinyl. So for 3049, that's always been kind of important. We want this on vinyl. When we grew up and got into black metal, it was all vinyls. If you got a big, nice vinyl album, you can check out the credits, you can read the lyrics, you spent a lot of time. And I was like, Spotify. This sound compressed on MP3, like, yeah, cool, whatever, next. I mean, you don't spend time getting into music in the same way.
So, yeah, I mean, there is something that's pointed about the music being tangible, and I think you're right that is kind of getting lost in all the digital age.
Vinyl sounds better.
Kudos to you guys for putting out the vinyl. If we were to look through a collection of your vinyls, what are some of your favorites that you would pick out?
Well, I have Mysteries Dom Satanas by Mayhem, of course.
Yeah, that would be a great one to listen to.
That's one for the show-off section. Otherwise, I have so much weird shit. I have Stein Torleif Bjellas latest album, He Gave It To Me. That was fucking great. Some Norwegian singer-songwriter. You guys will not know him, but that's in my vinyl collection. I love that album. It's great. It's called Heim for a Day, which means home to die. It's quite dark. Yeah. What else? I have, of course, Emperor, Burzum, lots of Burzum, Dark Throne, 3049. Yeah, I have my own vinyls, I admit it. I'm an asshole, I have my own vinyls. Lots of weird shit. I share a house with my woman, so of course all her vinyl is also in the collection, so there's lots of things.
What kind of vinyls does she listen to? She more of a jazz girl?
She is more of an underground, doom, 70s, right?
That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's good. She listens to the good music and I just she's the collector, you know, the one who has this, oh, it has to be the vinyl, it has to be this and this and this, well, I'm yeah, whatever,
That's awesome. Thank you again, Sideman, so much for joining us here. We are really looking forward to this tour. Thank you so much for spending time with us on metallife.com. See you guys at the show.